everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Stating the Obvious. What are we gonna do this time? Should we do a different intro? What do you guys think?
I don't know,
No.
man. You're the intro man.
I don't know, man. You've insisted upon doing the intro
You are
every
the
episode.
intro guy.
I like the intro we do.
I know, but you call yourself the quote unquote host, and you say that our input is not needed. So I don't know, man. You want to change the intro? Go ahead and do it. You fucking authoritarian.
Look, fair enough.
Okay.
I'm keeping the intro the same. Let's hear it. Pranay, state something obvious.
I don't know. So you know those candles from IKEA? They're like small. They're very small, very cheap, obviously. There's like a silver line around it. But like those candles like last forever, man. Like in candles in general, it's kind of interesting. Like you burn. Like the obvious thing, I guess, is just like candles last for so long. They burn, they get like liquidy, and then they, I guess, freeze up, and then they get solid, and you just burn it again. And
Yeah, that's how candles work.
candles kind of OP.
Great fact.
I'm glad. I'm glad you have discovered how this technology that has lasted humanity for millennia works.
I don't know who came up
Yes.
with it, but they're kind of OP.
I don't know. Did you guys ever make those like kind of crayon candles when you were kids?
I
Like you melt the
actually have.
crayons and you
Yeah.
Yeah.
dip like the string in the wax.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Those are pretty damn fun.
Did you ever actually use them as like candles though?
Oh,
Well,
well,
I mean, like
not as an
I didn't
actual
use them to
candle.
like light up the room or anything, but I set them
Yeah,
on fire.
I-
That's for sure.
Hey, did you know that, like, you know what a Wii is, right? Obviously, Nintendo Wii, it has a motion sensor, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I
Well, it's
lost
a
my
separate
motion sensor
attachment.
some time back. And apparently, and I've also tried this, I've done this several times. Instead of the motion sensor, you can put, like, a couple of candles and use that as a motion sensor, and it works.
Wait, what?
And the reason
What?
why is because the motion sensor, all it does is it just emits infrared waves, and the Wii is actually just receiving the waves. So if you put a candle, it acts as the same thing as the motion sensor. It's just releasing
Okay.
infrared.
Okay, I feel like you're gonna have to like explain how this works to me because like my Wii had like a motion sensor block that
Yeah,
you plugged
yeah,
into
I
the
know.
bottom of
I
the
know.
thing, right?
Yeah, I
But
know
you're
this.
telling me you put a candle there.
you can
you're
try it
telling me you
yourself
put
too. You can you.
A lit object, a lit candle on the end of a remote that you're holding
Oh
in
no
your
no
hand.
no no
Explain
no no
how
no,
this
no,
works.
Not like that. Okay, so your Wii has like the block thing, right? Your Wii remote.
Right.
But the Wii
Right.
itself had another like thin black, like motion sensor thing. It's like thin and black. It had one wire that connected to the Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah,
if
yeah,
you
that
don't
thing.
have that thin thing, you can replace that with just putting
How?
candles around the like. You can put them anywhere in the room, but that's where your motion sensor is pointing. Ideally,
How do you
I would
connect
put,
it to the Wii though?
I would put.
Yeah.
You don't need to connect anything, man. I don't know the exact science. All I know is that it has to do with infrared
It's
light.
not just magic. How is the Wii going to like receive
Bro,
the fact
I will
that
tell you
well,
this
whatever
for a fact.
waves?
I've done this many times, and it has worked many times. The
So-
stronger the candle you have, obviously, the more infrared it emits, and the better your signal is.
So, dear listeners, I think you can see here exactly why Pranay did not go into a computer science major. Because his solution, when a piece of hardware breaks, is to set up a
Okay, well,
satanic
it didn't
ritual
break, it just
and
lost it, bro.
pray to, like, whatever demonic forces are in hell to come fix his Wiimote.
Well, I guess
What the
he had a strong connection because I guess it worked.
You know what? We're moving on.
Yep.
Some. What the hell? Okay, Noah, save us, please. Say something obvious. That's actually like obvious.
Well, healthcare is too damn expensive in America. Earlier today, I was trying to do some financial shit, trying to figure out what the cost of living would be for myself after I got out of college, and holy fuck, healthcare is expensive.
Just don't get sick, lol.
The easiest solution.
Amazing.
That's my solution.
Pretty good solution.
Aren't you planning on being a doctor? Like,
That,
won't you interact with sick people like all the
Yeah.
time?
yeah, I just gotta have a strong immune system. That's the plan. I gotta eat those Flintstones vitamins. You remember those?
But if
Ah.
everyone does that, God, we won't have a job. you'll be
Yeah,
poor.
I've
I
heard of
choose them, not the other people.
I've heard of doctors that like refuse to go to the doctor because they know how much like doctors scam people. They're like, I refuse to be exploited by anybody other than myself.
Yeah, plus they already know how to diagnose themselves. Like that's part of it.
But they can't actually prescribe themselves
That is true.
No, you can't.
That is true.
because that's
Really?
So
just
then they could
yeah,
just get
because
high,
then-
like they could just get all the drugs and then
That's
Get
fair. That's
addicted.
fair. I mean, like, basically what happened, anyways.
I mean, I learned this
Opioid
by
crisis.
watching House. Lol. Because House is always taking drugs, but he can never write prescriptions for himself, so he gets other people to do it for him. Because he works in a hospital. Easy clap. Cobb, don't do that.
I will not.
Have ethics.
I
Yeah.
must have the.
God, I'm
ethics.
pretty sure any amount of drugs would kill you. I mean, like, you know those, like, before and after pictures where they, like, have, like, you know, before meth, after meth, and, like, before meth they're all, like, healthy looking, and then after meth they're, like, fucking, like, thin as skeletons? God, you already look like the after picture, so I can only imagine what you would look like on drugs.
I
You wouldn't-
might
you
become
wouldn't
OP.
be-
You don't know.
Maybe, yeah, he would
Cobb
not
would
again.
gain the power of
He would see the
invisibility.
His body would, like, fucking fold in on itself. Like, there would be no Cobb left in the mortal
Hey
realm.
man, invisibility is pretty cool power.
Yep.
That'd be pretty dope. Okay, Cobb. Now, tell us something obvious. That other than the fact that you want to be invisible.
Well, a very tragic event has happened in the last couple of weeks. Microsoft has announced that they are ending Internet Explorer in 2021.
yeah, actually.
Mm.
Actually, there will be no more Internet Explorer.
I say
Okay.
fucking finally.
What is it?
Why are we
Now
sad
there's
about
like a
this?
Microsoft Edge, isn't there?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like their new
That's gonna
new
continue?
version, but like still,
Okay.
I don't know.
well,
There's
I mean,
something
it's not like
nostalgic about Internet Explorer. It sucks.
hell?
It's like a
What-
really
what-
bad
what
software.
the actual
Just
hell?
having that icon there and just like deleting it the
You
first time
still
you get a computer, just like deleting the icon. I don't know. It's just
It's
weird.
like yeah.
It's just weird that like
That's fair.
one of the most the first internet browsers is like no longer a thing.
I mean, it is kind of like a rite of passage, you know. You buy a new computer, you use Internet Explorer to download another browser, and then you delete it. It's like baptism or something.
I mean, from 2005 to like 2009. I don't know. I used Internet Explorer because I don't think Chrome was really a thing, and you know that's like the only way to access the internet.
I think I
And
used
I
Firefox
didn't even
back then.
really use the internet very often, but you know.
Oh, wait, that like speaking of like using the internet back in the olden days, my family was like getting all our old electronics together to go take to like the electronics recycling center, and somehow they dug out my first laptop, like the first laptop I ever had, and it was this old fucking Toshiba laptop, and Jesus Christ, this thing was huge. Like it was big enough to have a locking mechanism inside of the lid, right? So you'd have to like pull this like tab to like get the lid open, and it was old enough to have like a sticker that was like Windows XP inside.
That is an old computer now.
Yeah, it's an old fucking computer, but I mean like damn, that Toshiba was my first computer.
How old was that? How do you know?
Well, I looked it up, and apparently Windows XP didn't last that long, so I must have bought it between 2007 and 2009, somewhere in that range.
It's about 10, 11 years old.
Yep. Well, no. Wait, Cobb, you know when I was... Oh, you're saying the computer was 10 or 11
Yeah.
years old. Yeah, I thought you were talking about myself. I was like, Cobb, you know what year I was born in? 2000. Like, it's
no.
not that hard. You just add whatever comes after the 20 to my...
Talking about
and that's my
the
age.
computer here, Noah. You know, the subject of this
Yeah.
conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, old fucking computer. Looked like a goddamn brick.
That must have
It
been.
was a brick.
It was a brick.
Must have been.
It probably didn't have any more functionality. What, Cobb?
I was gonna say, yeah, that must have been pretty painful to use, man.
Oh, true. It would have been pretty painful to use.
Speaking of pain, that seamless transition. There's this
Amazing.
recent
Amazing.
History Channel TV show that I've been watching called Kings of Pain. Have you guys heard of this show?
You're
I'm
always
not.
watching these most random things. Like,
Yeah, it is a good show.
start off with Shark Week, then like we've done some Nat Geo, and then we're doing a lot of Pain, King of Pain.
So,
I mean, I haven't watched History Channel in a while because like it kind of turned to shit. If I'm being honest.
well, these guys were. This show is like pretty good. It has nothing to do with history, but I guess they got commissioned by the History Channel to do it.
Nice.
But it's these.
Well, I mean, like that's the thing, right? Like History Channel stopped being about history like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There. Yeah. But anyway, the show is about these two wildlife biologists, and what they've done is obviously people know like the major animals that will, like if it bites you, it'll kill you. Like lion, shark, things like that. If it bites you, you're basically dead. But there's
Right.
so many like animals, stings and bites that like if it attacks you, that it's just going to be like super painful, but it's not going to kill you. So what they've done is they've taken about 25 different species of animals, so like like the lionfish and pufferfish and stuff like that, stuff that won't exactly kill you, but it'll like be super super painful, right? And they've exposed themselves, like gotten stung by these like animals. They did a piranha once that was pretty intense, and they created this like pain index on like how bad the sting is, how bad the bite is, and how you can like if you do get bitten or stung, like what you can do in that situation to like make it better, or like how to deal with it so you don't die or to alleviate the pain.
So what have you learned, Cobb, from this
I've
show?
learned how to deal with a bunch of bites. Usually, a lot of most like venomous bites, you just gotta like urinate on it.
Interesting.
Just
Like,
because
what
like
if-
the salts,
I mean, yeah.
the salts.
Like what if you're by yourself and it's like a spot that you just can't. And maybe you
I mean,
can just
you
like
could-
get it in a container and then
container,
just, like,
yeah, and
you
just like pour it on there.
yourself. I guess
But-
so. I guess so.
I mean,
I mean, yeah, it's like kind of gross, but like worth.
Wait, what? Why?
I've heard of like there's like a plant in like Australia or something where if you brush against it, like the pain is so chronic and severe that will last literal years.
Yeah, yeah, I've
And
heard about
Jesus.
this. People have committed
yeah.
suicide just because the pain is so
Yeah.
intense.
I think it was like called like I think it was like called the suicide plant or something.
Well, that is a reasonable name.
I mean, so in Australia, so you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just not going anywhere near that, dude. No, thank
I
you.
found it's
All the
called
wildlife, animals, crazy things that live over there. I'm good.
It's called the Gympie.
Yep.
The
Apparently.
gympie?
The what?
The GYMPIE. That's like the actual name of it.
Uh,
Yo, it must be
Dude,
jacked.
I don't know how you could just let things bite you. Like,
They're like
Well, I
actually
mean-
insane.
I mean, like a lot of the time, like you don't know that an animal or like a bug is there until it bites you.
I mean, I'm sure they do like snakes or like I'm sure the bugs are also bigger.
Well, not necessarily.
Maybe not all of them, but at least some of them. Like
But a lot of
yeah,
them,
but-
do,
a
like,
lot of
do
them
they
are
do
like,
any bigger animals?
yeah, but
or
a
do
lot
they
of them
do
are like
only insects?
sneaking up on you, or like you just don't know they're there, which is like they've been doing it for a while. The species knows
I mean,
how to
like
adapt.
like
man.
this way, you shouldn't be one to talk about like not getting bit by things. Like I know for a fact how often you get bit by flying insects.
Yes. What is
So
your point?
you shouldn't just be saying like just don't get bit, lol. Like
It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying,
You-
how are they okay with like voluntarily getting bit?
Oh yeah,
knowing-
these dudes.
I
like-
thought you were talking about like the victims like out in the wild. Like you're like, how are these people okay
No, I'm talking
letting
about,
themselves
I'm talking
get
about
like
these people
bit by
on this
rattlesnakes?
television show that
Okay,
are
okay.
opting to be like bitten by like snakes.
But they're
Alright,
just
fair
like
enough, fair
actually
enough.
crazy. There's this one snake that they did where I forgot the exact name of the snake, but it's this python, and it's the only known snake to like have swallowed a human whole, and they got bit by it.
Kinky.
The damage from that was like pretty bad.
I mean, like honestly, they probably have like some sort of weird ass fetish for it.
I can't. I literally
Possibly.
was just googling stuff about it, and now my arm's literally hurting. Like, where they were getting bit on their pictures, I was like, my arm is now in pain. I'm not doing it.
Wait, these are
Not-
these are like some big dudes too, right? They're like pretty jacked
They're
and stuff like
buff,
that.
man.
And they like cry on the show because the pain is super intense.
Okay, well, if you go
Yep.
and search out the most painful things, I assume you probably will cry.
How much do you guys think their life insurance costs or whatever?
I don't know,
mean-
man. They must sign a waiver saying it's okay if they die. Like, no way that the station.
I mean,
would
like,
allow
isn't
that.
the whole point though that the animals like cause a lot of pain but don't kill you?
Well, yeah, but if they have an allergic reaction, they'll die.
Yeah, But I mean, like, considering that they're like biologists and like apparently specialize in this, I would expect them to know the risk going in. Like,
Yeah, fair,
The-
fair.
the insurance he would have wouldn't be life insurance; it would be like pain insurance, and that doesn't exist.
No, it'd be life insurance.
I mean, I'm sure
What?
they signed a waiver. Like, you sign a waiver like any place you go nowadays. Like, I'm sure they signed a waiver saying like death is okay.
I mean, like, I just think it's stupid.
Yeah, but rather
It
them
is
than me.
stupid.
Yeah, but like, what?
Why anyone at all? You know?
I mean, what the goal of the whole thing is like to create that index and like determine how you survive it, right? Because if no one gets bitten by it, like you're not gonna know how the body reacts. You're not gonna know how to deal with
Yeah,
it.
but like,
so.
okay, like the thing for me though is like, as a TV show, I don't understand how you get like the appeal over a long period of time. Because like, yeah, like maybe the first episode's like, wow, that looks like it hurt a lot. Like, that must hurt. But then like, like a fucking season later, it's like, that also hurt.
I don't
It
know,
all
man.
hurt.
It's doing pretty well, like rating wise. So I guess people
I mean,
like
on
it.
some level, you're just watching like these buff dudes like let themselves get bitten and then cry.
I think it's like
over and
it's like
over
you know
again.
you can't look away from a train wreck. Every time a train crashes, you'll still look at it. And
Yeah, but like I don't watch like a season long of like train wrecks. Like maybe other people do, but like I'll watch like one train wreck and I'll be like, wow, that's a pretty bad train wreck. I'm not gonna watch another one.
well, people are watching now.
Alright, well it's pretty stupid. Whatever.
Well, I think we established that multiple times on this podcast.
Yep. I'm just reiterating it.
Very
Okay.
nice.
You guys ever think there are animals that just like don't seem lethal at all? Like I read this one fact that like hippos are more dangerous than lions.
That is true.
It's just like some animals that don't even seem lethal, like a turtle. Like a turtle doesn't seem very lethal. What if it just like comes out of its shell and just like murders you?
Snapping
Apparently
turtles.
like there's like snapping turtles that like will actually do that.
Holy
Well,
Christ!
they will
See, I'm
Like,
telling
they're-
you, man.
They
They're
just have
wild.
like bite force, just and they're also very aggressive.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
remember
man.
there was this one time for AP Bio. You know, there's this river for context. There's this like not river but like creek thing that goes at the back of our school by the parking lot, right? And so for a biology class, we went out there to because it's a known place where like fossils are found. So a couple days we went out there and just like straight up looked for fossils for the class period. And since it's a creek, there's a lot of other animals there, and there were so many snapping turtles that we had to avoid because like he's like, oh yeah, people have got bitten, like a lot of bleeding sometimes, so just stay away from them. Yeah, so they're jet.
Yeah. Turtles are also one of the most durable animals because of their shell. They can just be like, yo, peace out, and then just take all four of their limbs and just eat out of there. Or I guess their head too, right? So
You know,
The
there's
whole body.
some
Just
there's
squishing
some
them.
like animals and or bacteria. They can just like withstand some crazy things. And a Cobb and I the other day we were talking about things called tardigrades, which they're
oh,
like,
I've seen the pictures of those. Oh god.
why? Yeah, they. I mean,
You
they
know they're
do
like literally all over your face, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
they're like everywhere right now, dude.
I'm aware, but
They're also known as water bears. People
Yeah,
might
but
know them.
I
as
think
these
they're kinda
things are
cute.
actual tanks, but like they can survive in space up to God knows how long.
Like, we
And-
just straight up don't know how long because we left them out there, and they were still alive when we came back.
I mean, they're not alive in the sense that they're like up
Like-
and about, just like flying
Yeah.
around space. They're like hibernating in space because obviously there's no food and water and stuff. So they like
But they're
hibernate there.
alive.
But like if you go and put them back into a place where they usually would live, then they would come back alive. And they're not come back alive. They get out of hibernation and be like, yo, what's up? And then there's like this other jellyfish or something. It's not super durable in the sense, but it's like immortal. I think it's called like
Yeah, it's just
The-
a hydra.
the
It's just called a
immortal,
hydra.
the immortal jellyfish or something. It's like it like recharges. It like no, I'm talking.
What are
We're
you-
talking
what?
about something else. It like recharges its life cycle. So like the same jellyfish, it like when it gets old, it like reverses its life cycle and like becomes young again, and then like goes old, and then
So,
like
like,
grows old and does the same
Whoa,
thing.
That's like kind of weird, man.
Yeah, I think
mean,
they're like
like-
trying to study that for like anti-aging in humans.
I mean, like if you think about it, there's no real practical reason why we can't live effectively forever.
Yeah, that's true. It's like so that's why they're like those researchers are like, why can't the human body just like produce these enzymes or produce these hormones to like reverse aging? Because like I'm not 100% sure, but I think aging is like is a byproduct of just some of our like organs
Aging,
like
aging. I'll tell
lasting
you what
too long.
aging is. Aging
I mean,
is there's one specific thing that causes everything else. So you know when your cell divides, right? You make a copy of your entire genome, right? That's in
Yeah.
the cell. And when you know what telomeres are? Telomeres are the very ends of the chromosomes, the caps. It's really compact DNA. But what happens is every time the cell divides, there's a little bit of that telomere that doesn't get copied over, about 10 base pairs or so, right? And that happens over every division. And since there's like millions and millions of divisions a day, over time that like stacks up, right? And although like that DNA is useless, eventually like that's what causes aging is that you lose your DNA effectively.
I see. Well,
And then
in
obviously that
effect,
causes a whole bunch of other stuff.
these jellyfish have found some way to reverse that, and they're just mad chilling. Like, so I mean, like they will die if you hit it, and like if you physically damage it. But if it's left
Right.
alone, and it will never die of old age, essentially.
Yeah, I was
I mean,
reading
like-
this. Yeah, you know I watch Shark Week, but the world, the longest
He
living,
said it doesn't matter. He's just like, watch Shark Week. You guys
Yep.
know that.
the oldest
You already
living
know.
vertebrate is like species is a shark. It's called the Greenland shark, and the ones that they were filming and showing, they were alive during the Enlightenment. These sharks live like about 500, 600 years.
Well then,
That's kind of crazy, dude. Imagine like how what percent, like 70% of the ocean is like undiscovered or something.
Something like
Imagine
that.
what crazy crap is down there, man. Like
Yeah, like this shark.
Some weird
This
ass
shark
shit.
was just like in the
that we
Arctic
just
waters.
don't know about.
Where the Arctic waters where like no one went, and we discovered it like maybe 3 years ago.
Okay, so this is like somewhat off topic, but I want to talk for a second about like humans, like before we created like agriculture and everything, just like baseline, like evolutionarily speaking, just like humans chilling in like sub-Saharan Africa, because like I've read that apparently humans are like the only animal to do endurance hunting. Meaning, like, you have, like, cheetahs, right? Which will, like, try to catch your prey by, like, being faster. But, like, humans didn't try to, like, be faster than, like, their prey, right? They just outlasted them. Like, in a foot race, apparently humans can basically outlast any other, like, animal on the planet. Like, we can outrun a horse over a long enough distance.
wait. Now, did you listen? There's literally an exact podcast from Radiolab called Horse Race on this.
I have not.
Okay, well, you should definitely listen to this. So, like, they actually have a race, I think, somewhere in the Midwest between like humans and horses, and
Yeah.
apparently no one beat the horse until last year. But like, granted, the reason why like a lot of people think no one's beaten a horse until last year, it's just because they have a lot of like because of animal cruelty rules, you can't like obviously outrun the horse until it dies, and so they have like
Yeah.
stations every 2 hours to like refresh the horse, make it nice and like make it feel nice and good, and they have like a refreshment station, but humans just have to keep on chugging along without any of that shit.
Because there's no anti-human law,
There's no-
human cruelty
They're
laws.
like, if you're crazy, you can just fucking do it. But then last year, there's this one guy who just like fucking, he just like destroyed the horses by, even though they had all of that like refreshment stuff for the horses.
Yeah, fuck that. We don't need that shit.
But how the heck did the guy beat the horse even with all that
Bro,
stuff?
this man is an actual beast. I'm telling you.
He's just like the pinnacle of human like physique. Also,
Fuck.
maybe he took drugs. I don't know. But like, okay, but like, anyways, like the whole idea was right. Like we just like chase our prey until they got exhausted and died. And like, think about how horrifying that is. Like you're like, just imagine, right? You're like some gazelle or something like on the savannah, and there's like upright a ape throws a rock at you. You're scared. You run away. right? You run like, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes. You're like, okay, I'm safe now. You get back to grazing, turn around, there it is again. You run again. Like, you think you're safe. Turn around, there it is again. You try to run, you can't. The next day, it's there again. You keep running, you can't. You get exhausted, and it's still there. It just waits for you to die.
Yeah, the way
Like,
the
that
way
is
the
such like
the way the
Is it-
animals die actually is they literally like their body temperature rises so much that it just like destroys everything.
yeah. I mean, like, it's just such like a horror like film villain thing to do, and that's how we survived for thousands of years.
But I mean, from an evolutionary standpoint, that's kind of ingenious.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
I mean,
because
like,
it's all
also-
because like our sweat glands are so insane that
Like, you want to talk about like
don't
durability?
overheat.
Humans are fucking durable, man. Like, horses, like, they break a single leg, they basically die from shock, right? We have people who had all 4 limbs amputated, and they're still chilling.
yes, this is true.
they are chilling, but not very
They're just like
nicely.
a chest running around.
They're just they're living a very hard, difficult life.
Like, limbs, get that shit away from me, man. I just need a head and a fucking torso. That's it.
Fair,
Well,
fair enough.
true.
Rip quality of life, though.
I mean, fucking cyborg limbs, man. You got those now. I've been thinking. Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while. If technology ever gets to the point where like they can like make cybernetic limbs that are better than actual limbs, like if you can afford it, why not just have your limbs amputated and replaced?
Literally become Bucky, KW.
Like, yeah, like high key, like literally just like run around at the fucking speed of sound because your limbs are made of carbon nanotubes and also have rocket boosters attached to your feet. Like, why the fuck not?
Speaking of
I
like
am Iron Man.
speaking of like cybernetic upgrades, you know, Elon Musk, he said that he has a new like product, I guess is the word for it, that like uplinks your brain to like your
Oh, yeah.
Spotify playlist or something. And, like you can stream
the
music
fuck?
directly into your mind. It was something weird, bizarre like
yeah,
that.
like I think the
Yeah.
idea was like to have like a chip, like I think this was like a long term idea, but like, the idea was like have a chip in your brain that could like back up like your entire like psychological, like just like everything, like your subconscious, your conscious, just everything.
I don't know how I'd feel about that because like even nowadays like genetics tests, like I won't do genetic tests just because like it's such a huge invasion of privacy, and I know for a fact, like I've seen it happen where like employers and stuff like that, they can request your like genetic tests and stuff, and like if you're predisposed to certain diseases, just like straight won't hire you because they know you're gonna die soon.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I just think like your DNA is like your, I don't know. I feel weird giving that out to people. I feel like that's too private.
I mean, like I guess like a lot of people like the problem they have with the idea of like having your personality be uploaded is that like, you know, they're like, oh, like it's not really me, right? But I mean, if you think about it, like that's basically what happens every time you go to sleep and wake up.
What?
What do you mean?
Either
Like-
Noah's really big brain, or this is just like retarded.
Okay, I need to rewind a bit, right? So like I think the idea, like the long-term idea Elon Musk has is that eventually we'll be able to get to the point where we can like basically back up our entire like neurology onto like a chip or like the cloud or whatever, right? And then re-download it like to, I guess, like a robot frame or like a cloned body at like a later point, right? So like let's say hypothetically I were to back up my brain and then die in a car crash, right? That backup could be then put into like a cloned body, like regrown from whatever was left of my body at the car crash, right?
Yeah,
This is
I
kind of.
guess.
I feel like
Yeah.
if this was a thing in the future, like a lot of rich people, they would have several bodies, and it would be like a fashion statement kind of thing. Like this
Yeah,
this
I mean,
day
like-
they're taking out this body, and the next day they're just like, oh, he's wearing like Prada's like 5th gen human body, and she's wearing like fucking
Body by Prada.
Pretty much. That sounds like a real Black Mirror episode. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
but like the thing, like yeah, but like I feel like a lot of people, the reaction to that is like, oh, like the backup isn't me. But I mean, I feel like that idea where Like, I mean, I wouldn't see it as any difference to, like, from going to sleep and waking up, right? Like,
I mean, I get
it's
what you're saying, but I also think like I don't know. I feel like what you can like I don't know. I'm not here to give like meaning of life, but I guess like the
Give us
threat
the
of
meaning of
death
life.
and like
Tell us
knowing
right
that I will tell you the meaning of life right now, PJ.
now. Okay. Very nice.
Like death and like the fact that you know time is limited and stuff. Like I don't know. That like gives some meaning. That must.
I mean,
Like I feel like
yeah, but like, okay,
if you could.
my
Yeah, go.
no, go ahead. Like, my opinion is that humans currently have lifespans that are too short for the kind of civilization we have, right? Because if you think about it, like, most people go to school like up until like the maximum is like a PhD, right? But most people only get like a PhD if they get a PhD at all in like maybe one field. Like, if they're really smart, maybe like two, three fields. But like, people don't have the time to become experts in everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like that creates problems, right? Because you have like people who are like, oh man, COVID-19 isn't real. Like, I have a friend whose parents are like, they have like PhDs in chemistry and like master's degrees in computer science, right? Like, super smart people, but they don't think COVID-19 is a real thing. So I feel like you have people who just don't have like people just over specialize because they don't have the time to do anything else. Like, you can really only get competent at one thing before you basically up and die.
Fair, but I still think
That's pretty sad.
whatever the time limit is, just knowing there's a time limit and that like you could die at any time. I don't know. That's got to give some meaning.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
It's interesting to think about the way Noah's like. So say you have some time limit. Say if it's like 1,000 years or something. Say it's really
Yeah.
long. Like the way we would view, like age and like we in our minds right now we have like a child is like until I don't know until they're a teenager and teenagers until like you're 19 or something and then once you're there you're just like a young adult and then after that you're just like an adult and then after that you're just like old and but like how do you think the age ranges
after
would
that,
be
you're
it would
dead.
be after that
Yeah.
you die but like if your age range is like 1,000 it'd be like until 100 you're considered like a child or something and like only once you I don't know like what Noah said only once you've like mastered everything then you can be considered an adult or something like that.
I mean, like, my perfect society is one where robots take care of like all the basic needs, right? Like food, housing, water, all that's taken care of without like human input. Because like, I don't think you really need human input to like, I don't know, like, grow crops, harvest them, and like send them to like a market, right? Like, most of that's done by machines anyways. But like, I feel like those like basic needs shouldn't like need to be like taken care of by people. I think that like society should be reoriented towards excellence, basically. Like, rather than saying like, no, like just basically just like take out the element of like day to day just needing to survive, because like survival's already taken care of.
What about the people who just like want to live a different life? Like, what if some people just want to farm and they just want to live on
I
farmland
mean,
and they
yeah,
just want to farm
fucking
and then
let him buy a farm. I don't know, like, not gonna stop you from doing that, but like, if you don't want to like buy a farm or like worry about like food, then I don't think you should have to.
You know, speaking of like futuristic societies, there was this Japanese company or university, I'm not sure, but they created this modified MRI machine, which can map your neurological data when you go to sleep and recreate the dreams you were having, and then play them for you like on a videotape when you're awake. Which is
Huh.
like kind of creepy, but kind of cool at the same time.
My dreams are always really weird. Like,
Most dreams
I had a
last
dream
less than like
a
3
couple
seconds
nights
or something.
ago where I was basically playing like Ghost of Tsushima, but I had a sniper rifle and it was pretty dope.
Your dreams
It was-
sound nice.
have you
though.
actually even played that game, Noah?
No, but like, I watched the entire like I watched the entire Let's Play that Mr. Fruit did, so I like basically know how the entire game goes. But like, it was dope because like nobody else had guns because they were all like,
You're
I don't know,
just
like
running
Mongols from like
around.
1200. I'm like running around with like a fucking op, just like shooting people. I was like, this is the best game ever. And I woke up, I was like, oh man, I wish I could have played that game.
Well, rip.
This sounds like a very you thing to do.
Oh yeah, it was dope. Ooh, but
I'm
speaking
sure.
of video games, I want to ask you guys, what do you think of this premise? Space Dog Ranch Simulator. You simulate
is-
ranching dogs in space. You have like a dog ranch in space.
If it
That's-
has dogs, I'm already like,
I know. It is
About it.
such a dope idea. Like, think about
remember,
it, right?
remember Slime Rancher? I feel like it'd be something like Slime
Yeah.
Rancher.
It's like that, but with dogs,
I know,
which
that
makes
would
it
be kinda
infinitely
OP.
better. Like, I was like thinking about like what like the futuristic version of like dog breeds were, and like, think about it, the Moxhund. It's like Dachshund, right? But you place a D with an M, so it's like no, it's like the speed of jet aircraft is like Mach 2, so it's like a Moxhund. So it's like a regular weenie dog, but it's got cybernetic rocket boosters on it, and it flies around. That is the dopest thing ever. Come on.
you seem excited about this now.
I am very excited. I want to make this game.
You could
You
play
should.
one nasty game of catch with that dog.
I know,
You
right?
could just to think of like imagine that, but in VR, man.
Like you got
Imagine
like a
so many things, but in VR.
You got like a
Pretty dope.
fucking RPG with the tennis ball attached. You shoot it and like the dog just like
RPG with the tennis.
zooms.
It actually would get it, I would think.
Oh man, we need more dogs. Period.
I think there are enough dogs. Okay, so listen. When I go to like India this summer, right?
Yeah.
Outside, like the house, like the house, I guess my grandparents stay in because I just stay with my grandparents when I'm in India. Right outside is like, it's just like a regular street. It's not like anything. They're not in like a super high end rich neighborhood. It's just like very average. It's not like a village, but it's like very just average. And there's so many dogs. I remember when I was a kid, I would literally just go ask my grandmother for just like a bunch of bread and like food, and I just go outside and feed the dogs.
Aw,
It was a
that's
good time.
really cute.
I named them all too.
No,
named
I
all
don't know.
of them.
That'd be kind of scary, dude. Those dogs probably have disease. Like,
Bro, like
not
in
gonna lie.
the in the nights, I will say
Okay.
these dogs
Look.
do not give two shits. They will shout
Cobb, you're
as loud
probably
as they
right.
can.
You're probably right. They probably did have like some kind of disease or whatever, but I was like feeding them through the gate because my grandmother wouldn't like let me like open the gate and like play with them. She was just like, you can feed them,
That's
but
a
like
good idea.
I'm just like picturing the dogs like that Eric Andre meme, like let me in, let me in.
Yeah,
they
speaking
seem pretty happy.
speaking of like Indian animals, I guess when I go to India,
Nice.
I stay with like my uncle, right? And his house is like, it's definitely upper end, I guess I would say. Yeah, it's definitely like a closed-in estate almost, and there's these cats that just roam the gardens, right, and like the land of the house, right, and so the cats like they're all strays, but like my aunt took them all and got them all vaccinated, and now they're all just like they just live in the house now.
He's one of those cat aunts.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're, but they also have some German Shepherds dogs, and the dogs like their purpose is like to fight off wild animals. There are so many mongooses, mongoose eye. What is it?
Mongoose?
I
Mongooses.
think it's just
Mongoose?
mongooses.
Mongooses.
Mongoloid?
Mongoose.
Mongoloids.
Yeah, whatever these
Mongoose.
mongoloids, whatever the plural is. There's so many of them, and the dogs just have to like actually kamikaze them because they're obviously like mongoose is like a pretty good fighter. So.
Wait,
Kamikaze, okay.
that reminds me though, like did any of you guys like watch like this like old, I think it was like a Disney animated like short movie called Ricky Tikki Tavi?
Oh, I think I have.
I
It was
don't
like it was
know.
about this like mongoose who like
Okay, never
lived
mind,
in
I
the house
haven't.
of like I think it was like based on like I don't know like Rudyard Kipling or something like that. But like anyways, it was like this like mongoose like living in the house of like some Indian family, and like the whole plot was just him trying to defend the family from like these like cobras who are like the bad guys.
Yeah, well, I
It
can
sounds
confirm
familiar.
there are
though.
cobras.
I will say that.
I don't know. It was pretty alright.
Good to know now.
Yep.
That's what we like to hear. Okay, so I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
All right.
I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the hardest thing you've ever had to do? I have my answer, but I want to hear what you guys have to say
I want to hear
first, and
PJ's
then
answer first.
Mm,
Put him on spot.
I don't
All
know.
right, PJ.
Oh, okay.
I don't
We
know.
enjoyed that. We enjoyed putting Pranay on the spot.
Fucking seriously.
Especially after the candle weed thing, man. What is up with that? Okay, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
What are you gonna
It's
do
fine.
if you lose your motion sensor?
Deep breath.
Buying you
Bro,
one?
they don't even sell anything for Wheeze now.
Shut up.
Last
Shut up,
time.
or
Oh
I'm gonna
my
kill
God.
you. I'm gonna murder you.
Okay, fine.
Just be
Okay.
quiet.
Hardest thing I've ever had to
Okay.
do.
Yeah, tell me, please.
I don't know. There's nothing that stands out. You know, it's like, oh, this is like.
Hardest thing. You have
The
a
hardest
rebuttal?
thing.
Like a question mark?
Oh my god.
Okay, well,
Yet an extent point? I don't know.
Oh, maybe
that
actually
was
though.
fairly
That's a good
difficult,
one.
so I
Yeah.
will say that was fairly difficult.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't know. Maybe that was it. Honestly,
That's the hardest thing
In,
you've ever had
in
to
your
do.
life?
I mean, not like I can't. There's nothing that I just on the top of my head. I'm just like, yo, this in my life was definitely the hardest thing I've had to do ever. Maybe like
Really?
no, I don't. I don't know. There's nothing too outstanding. You know,
Renee's had it pretty easy.
I mean, can't say it's pretty easy, but I can say there's nothing been like, oh fuck, this is the hardest thing I've done in my life.
I think the hardest thing he's ever had to do is when he lost his motion sensor. And then he had to summon this demon.
That's something to do.
Yeah, had to fucking summon Satan to come like fix his
It
weed.
took a lot of willpower, I will say.
That was a terrible answer.
Well, I'm
All
proud
right,
of you.
Noah,
I'm
what's
proud
your
of you,
answer?
Pranay.
Oh my god. This was proud of Pranay?
I'm proud of him. You know what? I've always been a little proud of him, but now I'm especially proud of him.
Because he summoned a demon.
Yeah, I mean, like props, right? I can't do that,
Yeah.
so you know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I cannot
the
do that
Catholic
either.
Church has led me to believe that it's probably fairly easy if you try.
Okay, no. Well, you try and you let me know how that turns out.
Alright. I'll let you guys know on the next podcast.
And if you don't, let us know. We'll just assume you're dead,
Mhm.
or maybe taking a nap. Either or. It could be either if you don't really respond.
Okay. Like, I have been here the last couple times, I think.
You think?
I think.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Alright, but Cobb, I want to hear from you. Like, what is...
Cobb
What
wanted
is the
to hear
hardest
from
thing?
you.
I already put you on the spot, Noah.
Oh, really? You already put me
He
up?
Why
asked
you
you
putting it-
already.
Oh, what are you gonna choose? Who gets
Anyway,
What
who's-
secrets do you have, Cobb?
What the hell?
Well, what?
I mean, I'll
Wait.
say. I mean, I could go.
Alright,
I
at some
just-
point we need to talk about how much of a mystery Cobb's life is, but anyways. For me, the hardest thing I've ever done is pretty easy for me. And the hardest thing I've ever done was write my college application essays. Because, holy shit, it was hard on, like, both, like, just, like, a willpower level and also just a sort of mental health level. Because I started writing them, and, like, I was looking at the prompts, I was, like, looking at, like, all the guides, like, how do you write college application essays. It was, like, you know, tell a pivotal story from your life about how you changed and grew as a person. And then, like, I thought about it and realized I don't have any stories about how I grew and changed as a person. Like, literally, just never had any significant events happen in my life. I had not done anything with my life up until that point. Like, all of my character development, like, up until, like, literally now, has just been me thinking to myself about, like, my past actions and being like, you know, I was kind of a dick that one time. I probably shouldn't do that again. But you can't tell a fucking story about that. So I was just sitting there for, like, months, just trying to think about literally anything interesting from the last 18 years of my life. Basically
Well,
could
that's-
not.
Maybe you should have talked about that. The fact
You
that
could
you
talk
couldn't
about,
find
Yeah,
it.
write an essay about writing an essay.
You could talk
There's
about our
definitely
round
been
at
someone who's
Grapevine.
done that.
I'm not gonna fucking write about that. Just because I know it was a pivotal event in your life, but, like, to me, it was just another Saturday, okay?
How dare you?
Fuck
You know what?
you.
How dare you?
You ain't shit this one. I did not give a single crap after
Yes,
that
you
round.
did. Are
No,
you
I
kidding
didn't.
me? Are you kidding me, man?
You can Cobb can back me up on this. I remember. Like you just like went off and like fumed. Like you wouldn't even look at me for a while. So like I was just hanging around with Cobb, and I was like, Cobb, I think I'm doing pretty all right, but I'm kind of worried that Vis is gonna take this pretty hard.
I can confirm.
Look, that was like a while after that. I was saying immediately we went to the second floor. Hey, wait, how? It always ends up like this, by the way. On our podcast, we always end up talking about Grapevine.
Yeah,
somehow.
because you
Yeah.
bring it up. You bring it up
is
every
true.
time because you won't let go of it. Because you are a bitter person, Viswa. You are a bitter person
I
who will
am a
not
bitter
let go of the
person.
past.
I can't, Noah. It's too tilting.
What is the hardest thing you've ever had to do, Jit?
Listen to Noah's speech at Grapevine.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Oh god. Man.
Okay,
Jit will never let this go.
While
He
Jit
will
is
take this to
crying,
his grave.
I know he'll never let it go. Like, this is what I'm saying, right? Like, Viswa just straight up can't let go of shit. This happened 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Or was
No.
it just
Yeah.
1 year?
1 year.
It was just
It
1 year.
happened,
All right, never
it
mind.
happened
2 years ago.
pretty recently.
Oh, yeah, 2
Okay,
years
to
ago.
be fair,
Actually,
the
shit, that's a
pandemic
long
has
time ago.
completely fucked up my sense of. Oh yeah, no, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years. It's been 2 years. It's been 2 fucking years since Grapevine. Viswa still won't let it go.
He will never let it go.
He'll. I swear to God, we'll be like 70 years old in like a fucking retirement home, right? And he'll just be like, "Hey, Noah, remember that time you fucked up that round in Grapevine?" And I'll be like, "This is what I'm dying, man." And this will be like, "I don't care. I don't care. You ruined
killed
my life
me
with that round in
night."
Grapevine." Yeah. Swear to God, man.
Look, I will neither confirm nor deny the statement. Okay, but that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. It's true. It's true. I just had to sit there and listen to you while you didn't extend anyone.
That
my
was not
jokes.
the hardest thing you ever had to do, Viswa.
Okay, maybe not, but it was still a hard thing. It was a very hard thing in my life. No, that night I woke up in the middle of the night just sweating, just like having a panic attack.
But god damn it, Viswa. Like, it was a fucking round of Grapevine. You didn't have, like, sort of a combat tour in Afghanistan, alright?
Yes, I did.
My
Noah.
tour.
We
my,
talked
my,
about
my round in Grapevine was not like a fucking war on terror
Look,
for you.
for me it was, man. For me
Oh
and
my
those,
God,
those
this is what I'm
countries,
talking about.
those countries that are misusing foreign aid, dude. I was there. I was on ground zero.
I-
All these countries, they're doing such bad things. They're like,
They're
you
biting
poor
the
person,
rems, biting
suck
the
it.
rems.
You're not
too.
getting any money. We're building a new palace for myself. You did foreign aid, man. Foreign aid's a
Just-
piece of garbage. I'll tell
Alright,
you. I'll tell you
alright,
that much.
Sure, whatever. The hardest thing you ever had to do was lose around the Grapevine, despite the fact that we later on went to go to the TOC anyways.
That was pretty hype. I ain't gonna lie. When we went positive, I was like, this is a big accomplishment.
Oh yeah, fucking hell yeah, buddy. Waiting mechanisms. But anyways, I think we're getting off track because the real question here is, what is the hardest thing that Cobb has ever had to do? Because I swear to
True.
God, Jacob Mommen is an international man of mystery. I don't know what he does with his life. Like,
Yes.
Worldwide.
we'll tell him like, hey Jacob, are you gonna show up to this thing that we're all doing?
Nope.
Or like we'll like text him, right? And he straight up won't reply, won't even look at our texts
Nope.
for hours. And then like he'll
God.
show up and like, sorry guys, I was busy. Busy with what, Jacob? Busy with fucking what?
Doing the things. I'm Mr. Worldwide.
This is what I'm talking about, all right? I know what Pranay does with his time. He's either fucking up with being a human being, or he's doing that like weird ass research project he's doing, like where he's like looking at the price of drugs, and somehow he's getting paid for it. I don't know why. But he's getting paid to just like look up the price of drugs. He's not even publishing anything, but he's getting paid. I know what he's doing with his life. Viswa, I know what he's doing with life. He's either playing League or, I mean, you've deleted League, Viswa, good job, but
Yes.
like he's like dancing, he's doing magic, he's doing something, right?
Computer
Jacob-
science.
Yeah,
Hello, major.
he's doing he's doing computer science, right? Jacob Mommen. I don't even know what college he goes to for sure. I think he goes to Baylor. I don't know what his major is. I think he's majoring in pre-med, but that's only because we've all joked around that he's like the doctor of the group. I don't know for sure. I don't know what he does with his life. We tried to show up to like bring him to like some, like what was it? Like was it? It wasn't prom, right? We were going to like no, it was like some escape room.
It was
Or
prom.
was it? No, it was prom. Yeah, we showed up to his house to try and get him to go to prom, and like he was like fucking deceased on his floor. Like
Yeah,
what
I
the
went
fuck?
That day
upstairs.
was
I
so-
did. I saw him.
Oh man,
What the hell
that
does
might be the
Jacob
hardest
want
thing I've ever
to
had
do with his
do.
life?
What did you say?
Why were you so deceased? Is
Oh,
basically
God,
my
Yeah,
that
question.
why
day
were
was
you
so-
fucking unconscious
yeah,
on your
yeah.
floor?
No, that was that day, right? Was UIL, right? And we were UIL region or something like that, and we were I don't know, we were in Austin, I think. We were in Austin, and we had to round one was like at 8 in the morning, and we had to be so we were like up super early. We were staying like I don't know 20 minutes away from the place. So I was up at like 7:30, and I just did not go to bed that whole day. I was so tired. That's that. I remember that day so clearly. I was like, okay, I gotta stay up. They're coming. I gotta stay up, but I just could not.
And you just fell face down on the floor?
Yeah, I just like fell asleep. Like
Oh my
I
God.
straight up did not have any energy.
But that doesn't answer my question though. What the hell do you do with your life, Jacob?
It's gonna stay a mystery.
He records this podcast.
Yeah, I record the podcast.
He's the CEO of.
I am the
recording this
CEO.
podcast.
I'm not the CEO. I'm the co-CEO. We're all
Oh.
Ah, the co-CEO.
With who?
With all of
Who do you think?
Oh
We're
my,
all co-CEOs.
we're all
All
co-CEOs of the
co-CEOs.
podcast, Noah.
oh my god.
And I was like, with who? I don't know.
I didn't sign on to like any sort of board of directors or whatever.
You're
So
gonna be an
Well,
employee.
It's too bad, Noah.
You just don't know that you'd. Like you
Uh,
did, but you
that
just
sounds
didn't, you didn't
pretty,
actually know that you
sounds
did.
pretty illegal to me.
You should
But,
have
like, all
read
right.
the fine print.
Like okay. Let's start off with this. Where do you go to college, Jacob?
You are correct. I do go there.
Baylor?
Yes, correct.
All right, he goes to Baylor. All right. What do you major in, Jacob?
I have biochem and econ.
What the fuck?
That is correct, Noah.
Why?
Well, you need so there's this program at UCLA and at Penn that you get a MD degree and an MBA, but you need the double major for that. So
So you're going to UCLA or Penn? I'm assuming that's your plan.
well, that's what I want to do. I don't know if I'll get in, but I have taken the prerequisites.
All right. What the hell do you do with your life, Jacob?
I'm not sure how to answer that question, Noah.
All right, whatever. You know what?
What's the hardest thing you ever had to do, Cop?
All
Yep.
right, hardest thing I've ever had to do. Yeah, probably there's like this time in elementary school, like
Okay, interesting.
transition to middle school ish around that time. I can't put an exact time period on it, but I used to be like super self conscious about what other people were saying. But then I don't know. It's just always like I don't know. It just made me feel weird. And then eventually I realized, honestly, after I saw Noah just like not caring at all, I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter what people think.
Oh,
It's good on you, Cop.
Good.
So
Wait.
the hardest thing you had to do is basically like let go of caring about what people thought of you, or
Wait, that's like a pretty significant thing, like just building self confidence.
no? I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is not like a thing, a hard thing to do. It's definitely a hard thing to do. I'm just
Yeah, and I was also like fairly young at the time. Like I would say it's like at the beginning of middle school. 'Cause I remember by the end of middle school, I just didn't care.
wait. What were people saying about me in middle school?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I
In
remember
middle
some of the
school,
I
things.
just
didn't
had a good
know
laugh
that
whenever
was
you told me
well.
what happened in your life. I remember one time you hooded some guy. You just put his hood on, and then Miss Botine or something.
Oh,
she saw
yeah.
you and gave you
He-
detention. I just laughed.
Oh
at the
my
shit
god,
Noah
I
does.
remember that. I remember that. He just locked onto me like a fucking T-Rex. Botine hated me.
Dude, she seems like when she's teaching class, she seems like she's such a nice, sweet person. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah, no, I
she's
get
speaking a
that.
super high pitched voice, and she's so nice, dude. No, dude.
No.
No, dude.
It's a fucking facade. It's a fucking facade.
It's insane, man. She's actually like cracked.
Why?
I
She
mean,
will
like-
destroy your entire life.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of something?
No, like I mean, like the thing. No, it's not like okay. So there was that instance where she just like gave me like detention for like hooding some dude. And, like it was like my friend. Like I was friends with this guy, right? Like I wasn't like bullying him or anything. Like I knew him, but she just like locked on and he was like, no, detention for this kid. But like okay, that's like not what I'm talking. Like it's just like the sense, right? it's just like you get this feeling when you've been in her class for long enough that the whole like happy, like very nice personality that she has going on, that's not really what she's like.
Oh, so
Like-
like that person who I completely forgot, the Harry Potter lady.
Umbridge.
Oh yeah, Dolores
Umbridge.
Umbridge.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Yeah, that's
she
exactly who I
looks
think
like
of
her
right
too.
now.
Like,
you think?
not gonna lie,
A little
yeah,
bit.
Do you
well,
remember
no.
what
She
looks
has brown hair, and Umbridge has like a blondish kind of.
like? I thought she also had brown hair.
In the movie. I know she had like, or she also had brown hair. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess she also had like a.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I buy
Okay.
it.
Okay, but
I
I
mean,
also I have
yeah.
this question. So, obviously in kindergarten and throughout elementary school, all the like the teacher personality. Those are in general.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
actually, once you get to high school, like I guess the teacher personalities and their out school personalities are a bit mashed together. But how do you think like elementary school teachers are out of school? Because they're definitely
Probably
not the
different.
same.
Yeah.
Teachers don't even exist out of school. They just go back into their coffin, waiting for the next day.
Like, I
will
cannot
say-
imagine some of my elementary school teachers outside of school.
I'm just gonna say that like when teachers bring like outside life into school, oftentimes it's very uncomfortable.
I think it depends on how they do it.
Yeah, but
Sometimes it's fine with me because then they just stop teaching and you can just do like whatever you want. They just
Yeah.
start talking about their life and you're
well,
just
I mean, like, okay, like the thing is though that like the type of teacher that will bring their outside like life into school beyond like just like the major stuff, right? Like, no, sometimes teachers will be like, "Oh, I'm getting married," like that's expected because like that's a major life event. But like the teachers that will just talk about whatever is like happening in their life to their students, I feel like those are the types of teachers that are way too comfortable with students, and they are just sharing information that I would
I can-
rather not know.
I can think of one teacher who I know his whole life story about.
Explain.
do you want to?
I mean,
What?
all you
Just
guys also
fan
know
or-
him too. Like
I mean,
we literally know. How do you know? We literally know like almost everything that goes on in his life or has gone on. And he used to be a CEO of friggin' what some radio thing.
Oh, friggin' yeah.
Friggin' Latinx thing.
MTV.
MTV. There we go.
Oh man! All right, there we go.
All right, now
It was like,
now
yeah.
no one knows.
It was MTV Latin America, I think,
Yeah, that's what it was.
which makes no sense. I don't even know. I don't think he even speaks Spanish.
I don't. We looked it up and we just could not find it.
He seemed. I mean, obviously we know his entire life. Like he's of Irish heritage, but
Apparently.
We know about his
So
children. We
Yeah, about his
literally,
children.
he just doesn't stop talking about
Wait,
it.
was he Irish or Scottish? Because I think I remember one time he showed up to like school in a kilt.
Okay,
He
okay.
started
It's
talking
actually
about
probably
how much he hated the started
Probably
talking about how much he
Scottish, yeah.
hated the English.
yeah.
It was
it's probably
weird as
Scottish.
shit. Dude, yeah, he was like, oh yeah, like he put on like a really bad Scottish accent. It was like, oh, Scottish hate the fucking English, them bloody bastards. I'm like sitting here like, what the fuck is happening?
He wears Santa costume every weekend.
Oh my God.
His wife's a
Honestly, that was
photographer.
kind of crazy. I don't know. That whole class was like, except for poker. Poker's.
I remember one time he was like telling us a story about like his divorced, like him and like his divorced ex-wife, and he was like, I haven't even told the story to my sons. I'm like, why
Oh,
are you
yeah.
telling us
Oh
this?
yeah, the reason why they got divorced, right? And he was just
Yeah, I'm like, why are you telling us this and not your real actual children?
Why are you telling us this to begin with, man? We're a freaking
Exactly.
class group of students. Like, what? It's fine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think
We just
sometimes
didn't do
teachers
anything.
see their students as like, I don't know. Sometimes they're a blank wall just for them, like a void just for them to talk to. And sometimes
Yeah,
they
they
like
think they're in like
they
therapy
see
or
their
something. No
students
cap.
too much as friends, which is like
because like half the time, okay, if you go in that depth, like half the time people aren't listening, half the time people are intrigued and they're like all compassionate and stuff. I mean, it could be form therapy. Like half the
I
time
don't
it's going to
know.
be on the quiz, so you have to listen. And in the case of that guy too, it's like we have to know how many pets and which exact animals each pets were. It was on the
I hated
final.
it.
I remember it was on the final.
So stupid.
That was so stupid.
that
by
was
the way.
stupid.
Honestly,
Holy
the debate
crap.
class was such a joke. Like the fact that it was like a real actual class you had to take was not necessary at all.
I will say
Yeah,
though,
I could have taken like art history or something
Yeah,
instead.
I will
Instead,
say,
I was
though,
sitting in
that
debate class, but
yeah.
it was a fun time.
the class
was
was
a fun time.
pointless, but it was a nice break in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it was
like,
only at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah, fair,
At
but
least-
still, like
I
I
mean,
could
like,
do
half.
work and stuff, and that it's
personally,
whatever.
I would have rather just been able to take like another class because like maybe then I could have kept taking orchestra, or I could have taken like another elective, or I could have taken like I don't know like chem or bio, like one of the like double like those like 2 period
maybe I
classes.
could have
like, when
continued band. I don't know. But
Yeah.
when it came to 11th grade, I had to make like a big decision because up until that point, I've been doing band and debate, and
That's
Yeah,
kind of
but,
hard, man.
I mean, like you can say like yeah, sure, like it was like a nice break, but like if you think about it, right? Like you get basically like 4 extra classes to like complete your graduation requirements with. By the time you're in 11th grade, you can basically just like only take 6 periods, just like have a 7th period break.
yeah, but it's like I don't know. You're kind of more focused and committed,
I
I
don't
guess,
know.
if there actually is a class.
I don't
I don't
buy
know.
that.
It would have been cool if there wasn't, because then I could have maybe continued playing saxophone.
Yeah. I mean,
That
like
was such a difficult decision, but I mean, at the end of the day, it came down to like marching band. Just like it's just too physically draining.
If you didn't have to do marching
Sure.
band, would you have chosen band over debate?
I seriously, like, when I was making the decision, I was like, I don't know how. For me, after I kind of factored in marching band, the decision was pretty clear cut, right? Because debate has a lot of like value outside of like even the class or after I graduate and everything. Like it still continues to serve me well because I can just like speak better and
Yeah.
I'm like better at presenting stuff. So it always has that like intrinsic value just because of what it is. And playing the saxophone's like cool, but it doesn't have the same kind of real world intrinsic value, I guess, or at least not like super directly. So, I mean, that's why the decision was pretty easy then. But if I didn't have to do marching band, man, I don't know what I would have done because
Knowing what you know now, if you didn't have to do marching band, would you have still chosen debate?
knowing what I know now,
Yeah, like how you know
if I was operating like if I just went back in time, but I still had all the information,
Yeah.
I would still do debate. I think.
I mean, come
because
on, man, you got the TOC, like.
I would go back and I would still do debate. And I'd talk to Noah right before that summary and we'd win that round and be so free, man. Oh god,
Oh,
okay.
my God.
Yeah. But I would do debate, I think.
I mean-
but I don't know.
I mean, like the thing Viswa says about like debate having like benefits after you finish, like it's very true. Like sure, like it doesn't have any like direct like career applications. I think like maybe besides law, but like I mean the fact that like in college I'm basically the best public speaker and presenter in the room without having to put in any effort at all is so nice. It's so nice.
I also think it gives you like just besides like speaking in general, I think you learn a lot of research skills and like how to find information.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, how to research, how to digest information really quickly as well.
Even though it's like
Yeah.
extremely complicated. And like you have a
yeah.
I'd say pretty much all of us have a pretty good general overview of like what's happening everywhere in the world. Like we have a good
Yeah.
baseline to go off of.
And like I mean like in terms of research, like yeah, definitely. I remember like when I started debate, like I was starting to do research, I'd be like looking at like these like academic papers. I'd be like, man, what the hell is this shit? But like now, like I don't know, like I've just gotten so used to reading them, it's almost become like comforting, right? Because like you see an academic paper and you're like, I can trust this information. Like this is something that I can process and will help me. And it went from like going like, oh God, like a paper to thank God, a paper I can
Like,
read.
what am I gonna do? There's like so many pages. How do I find my information? And then like 2 years later, you're just like casually opening up like 12 of them, control Fing like all the
Yeah.
exact things you need. Like it's actually nuts the transition that's made.
Oh man. Yep. I mean, like, fucking man, do debate.
Yeah, it was a good experience.
I would say it's a life hack, man.
I think if I could go back and do it again, I'd still do debate, but I think I'd try and continue to play saxophone, like just for
Yeah,
myself.
on the side.
Because I kind of just like after I ended up not taking band, I just didn't really play saxophone, and that was in part to me not actually having a saxophone or a tenor saxophone because I rented mine from the school, and they're not just gonna rent me one if I'm not doing band. So
Yeah, I feel like. Sorry, like Jacob, I know you're trying to segue, but I just want to
Yeah, go.
chime in here. Like, I feel like once you basically get rusty and you fall out of practice with playing an instrument, it's really hard to get back into it because you basically have to do all the relearning and just the time investment in that is just much more daunting than just continuing to practice and play an instrument. Because I haven't played the cello in years, right? So I know if I want to get back into it, and some part of me wants to, but I know if I want to get back into it, I'll have to put in the time to start from basics, basically how the fuck do you read music? I forgot to do that. Just start a very beginner level, and just the opportunity cost is a bunch of other shit I could be doing, where it's not beginner level, and I just feel the at that point it's just too much of an investment.
But going on the debate thing, I think the skills you learn are riding a bike. You don't have to practice it. You could not speak publicly for years, and then I think the skills you learned would kick in. I don't think you need to practice it for it to be useful.
It's I don't know, it's hard to
Practice
say because
obviously,
it's hard to go years without public speaking, right?
Yeah, practice obviously makes it better, but I don't know, in some obscure scenario, let's say you don't public speak for a couple of years. I still think the skills would be there and you do fine.
Maybe. I can't say.
Now, PJ, what do you think? You have been awfully quiet. I feel like you are making some salads over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. For me, I always thought, I don't know, debate, I've put a lot of work into it. Obviously didn't get as much as I wanted out of it. But coming to college now, after especially doing econ, which is obviously very paper related, again, research kind of stuff. Especially getting the research grant that I was talking about earlier. There's no way I would have gotten it as a freshman if I didn't have a unique idea. And the unique idea came from one of my favorite debate topics that we did about pharmaceutical pricing. So I don't know, that there's definitely a lot of benefits. I feel like I definitely also put a lot of work into it, but now it's all over, and I have my good old pharmaceutical pricing, good old Paganini.
So stupid.
Has led me to this day.
I really hope for your presentation they say, all right, screw whatever you've been working on. You have 7 minutes to come up with the speech, or 30 minutes to come up with the 7-minute speech. Then we'll see.
Oh my god.
Then we'll see.
Renee would have to call everybody else that they're interviewing and just be like, guys, please throw for me. And he'd still wouldn't get it.
He'd still lose it.
Oh man.
yeah, I think if you have the opportunity to do debate, I think it's a good investment. Even if you don't think you're a great public speaker, you kind of just become better.
And I was absolute garbage at the beginning. Couldn't even get out a couple sentences.
And you made it, Noah.
Yeah. Wait, Vissel, do you remember at Mean Green debate camp at the very beginning? Smith had to coach me through just giving a summary speech just because I couldn't get a single couldn't even talk for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was very rough.
Yeah, but
you did the drills.
Yeah.
I remember you were very you were going ham on the drills and you were very into it. I was okay, respect. And I guess it worked out for the best. So here we are. I guess that's the lesson. The lesson is do debate if you get the chance, or you know what, improve your soft skills. So your speaking, your presenting, those
I agree with
skills.
that.
No matter what you decide to do, or your writing, no matter what you decide to do, those skills always are going to be useful. So,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, and with more advice, we can segue to our final segment of life hacks for your everyday life.
All right,
just for your life
hit
in
me with
general.
some life hacks.
All right, we've already given you so much advice, so you know what? Let's just keep the train going, and more life hacks. So, if you have work to do, or you have to study or something, and you're not motivated, and you're just procrastinating, you can watch a video or listen to a podcast of that topic and then that helps you get your brain focused on the subject, and then you can like start doing your own critical thinking, and you're not going from like 0 to 100. So it's kind of like a nice sort of segue into what you're supposed to be focusing on.
A good thing we talk about everything, because then that means we're applicable to all. So you should watch
Easy.
every episode.
Selfless plug. So check out Stating the Obvious if you ever need a good transition. If you're trying to write a case for some debate topic or something, man, just turn on this episode. You know, just feel motivated.
We've talked about everything from like AI. We've done a practice. Not really. We've done a debate on this podcast. So
Okay, we've done very like a lot of different topics, so you'll definitely find something that you'll like.
all right, hit me with it on there.
Here's another one. If you drop something fragile, don't try to grab it on the way down. You should just like stick out a foot and let it bounce off your foot, because that'll absorb enough of the speed that it hopefully won't break. But
I don't know
I mean,
if I agree with that.
for big stuff, like it's not gonna work, right? This is for like smaller things, for like a camera lens or something, right?
Maybe. I mean, like, I'm just like picturing like on like a wine glass, right? And like the thing I think you have to like take into consideration also is like how delicate it is. So like maybe your foot might prevent it from breaking, but like if it doesn't, you're gonna have like shards of glass just kind of shattering all over your foot.
Yeah, that's possible.
You know what this reminds me of? There was this one time at a debate at UT where it was nighttime. Like there was no one around. We were just like in this corner of the campus, the four of us.
Yeah.
And Pranay had this glass bottle. For some reason, we're like, "Yo, PJ, bottle flip the bottle."
I was like a bet.
And then this time he was obsessed with bottle flipping. He wanted to get the perfect form, like absolutely perfect. So he flipped this bottle and it just shattered everywhere. And
I don't know what he expected. Like,
yeah, I don't know what he was doing, but it just went everywhere.
oh my god. Oh, so I remember watching that. Like he just like flips the bottle and like it doesn't even like bounce or anything. It just hits the ground, shatters.
I
It was
just
so
don't know what
stupid.
Renee expected.
It was so stupid. We were all just like I remember like I was just like, why did you do that, Renee? Because
I don't know. What if it landed? Just
yeah,
It
imagine.
does things, you know.
Imagine if it landed.
There's no scenario in where that goes well.
Honestly,
You don't
we
know
were
that.
we were on top of a ledge, and PJ was about to just flip it off the ledge.
Oh
Like,
my
you're on this
god!
really tall ledge.
Oh.
About
I
like
literally could have killed somebody.
yeah, but he was like, "Nah, I'll just do it on the stairs where everybody walks."
Yeah, so that's
Yeah, he
how
just
we
flipped it
created
there.
a walking hazard in UT.
Yeah.
What if somebody stepped on that? Just cut their
Hopefully,
feet?
they were wearing shoes.
Yeah, but like, what if they weren't? You know, like those UT kids, those weird ass liberal arts kids. So, like, what if they're just like walking around with just like flip flops, and
I
then
don't
just
know.
step on like fucking shards of glass?
Then it's PJ's fault.
Yeah, like their feet start bleeding. They get like gangrene. Their foot gets amputated. But oh no, the cost is like too much because healthcare costs in America are like completely like unreasonable.
All right,
And then-
PJ, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, you ruined somebody's life, BJ.
Okay, God.
He
Oh,
was
wow.
like, no, they were some bright young kid with a good future in front of them, and you fucking ruined it. How does it feel?
I mean, that doesn't feel too
Feels
bad
pretty
for
fine,
me.
man.
Doesn't feel too bad for me, man.
Oh my, you are a heartless bastard, Pranay.
That is my name.
That is my name. Oh
This
god.
heartless bastard.
Oh my god.
Okay, we'll hit you with a couple more life hacks. This one I think is actually, I don't cook very often, but I think it's a good tip.
Well, Noah cooks, and apparently PJ cooks, so we can ask them.
Basically, the tip, very simplified, is just clean up while you cook. So it's
Yes.
easier to clean like food in the sink while waiting for other things to finish up. Like it's easier to, instead of just like, sitting around and just like chilling or like doing nothing while you're waiting for something to cook, to just like start cleaning up if you don't have anything else to do. Obviously, like sometimes you put something in like the oven, then you got to build like, and you got to cook and assemble the other parts of it, and that's fine. But if you don't have anything to do, if you start cleaning up, it just makes you feel better when you're done cooking everything because you don't have like this massive cleanup situation that you have to do.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
PJ in the middle of cooking records this podcast, so he's never bored.
I mean, like, while it's true, like, I feel like that's less of a life hack and more just like being efficient with your time.
It's probably true. And I mean, I think a good just general life tip is just befriend your professors and teachers in college because they'll actually go out of your way to help you if you are like nice to them. And
Oh,
you
yeah,
like,
actually, like
your
I'm
stuff.
friends with one of my professors, and I was totally like I'm not like friends in the sense like yeah we hang out every Friday or something. like I've gotten fairly close to one of my professors, and I was telling him I'm coming back to Pitt, like I'm moving into the new house, we need to buy all these things, and he was just like, yeah, do you guys need any like kitchen pots or pans and stuff? Because we need to get rid of a lot of things, and I was like, oh shit, like he actually wants to give me some, just give us some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, log.
Well, that's
then I
because
guess
like the college
if you're in, like,
professor
if you're in
range is like
dorms-
I don't know. It's like you can have professors that are like 30, and you can have professors that are like 70,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
they treat you like an adult in college. I think.
And then if you're in dorms, you can like befriend the cleaning staff and stuff. You know, just befriending people and just being a nice person will get you pretty far in life, I think. If you're just like, if you try and be a good person and don't tilt out of your mind every single time something stupid
Don't
happens.
burn bridges unless you have to.
Yes, exactly. Good tip, Cobb. There we go.
All right, hit me with one more life hack, kid.
Oh, one more life hack. Oh,
One
panic.
Give me the best one.
What
Give
is
me
the
the life
best
hack
one?
to upload
Don't
myself.
die. Live your life.
Good.
And remember how fleeting life is. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep those fucking telomeres closed, man.
Let me find you an actual one because I just the other day.
I mean, I think that was a good thing. I think that's a good life hack. I think that's a good
I
one
think
to
it is
end
a
on.
good life hack.
Yeah.
Look,
I
I
think it's
just
a good
came
one
up
to
with
end
it.
on.
I think it's a good one.
We're
Yeah.
kind of popping
I mean,
off
like,
on
yeah,
the
if
life
you don't
hacks.
die, you beat the game.
You know what? Here's a good one.
I wonder
Here's
if you
a- here's
die, you just like when you die, it just says game over. Like that's like you just see
It's
the
like
words
that Dark
game
Souls
over.
screen. It's just like, you died. Like,
Apparently, when
thank
you die,
very
you're
helpful.
conscious long enough to know that you've died.
What? Okay.
What?
Sorry.
Okay.
What?
You know what?
Okay.
Here.
End the
here.
subject. End the subject.
Give me a good one.
Control Shift T.
There we go.
That
What,
is a
real
good
thing
life
with
That's
hack.
Abbott
all you need to
closed?
know. That's all you need
That
to
is
know.
Pretty
good
nice.
life hack.
Pretty nice.
It's a good one. I've closed so many tabs that I need to reopen and just simple geometry, boys. So with that, if that was obvious to you, then you know
It's thematic.
it's thematic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it because
yeah.
we're stating the obvious. And if it wasn't obvious to you, that'll make your life way easier. Trust me. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Stating the Obvious, and we hope to see you guys listening to the next one. Leave like a review. Can they leave reviews?
Yep.
Yeah.
Leave reviews.
Yeah, leave a
Yeah.
review. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with your mom, your dog, your brother, sister, daughter. I don't know your life. You know what? You do you.
Yep.
But
We only
keep
have one
listening to
review on Apple Podcasts as of now. It's quite lonely.
it's quite lonely. You
Give
know,
some friends.
befriend it. Befriend it. Add a review.
Get a conversation going, you know? Just say, like, hey, you come around here often? Maybe that review will reply. You never know. It'll be the start of a beautiful relationship.
It
Yep.
could be.